I want to take some time today to talk about something that I think is really real, and that is intimidation in the weight room. I was gonna do the whole make it look like I'm driving away, you can see my car clip, but it's raining out.
Like I built this town, steps so light, I barely touch the ground. Everybody wants to know how, brick by brick, I put them in the ground. Walk like I built, walk like I built this. I do it for my people, family business, and everybody wants to know how. Take a good look, you are now witness.
Wake up, wake up, it's a brand new day. I got a fresh breath and a full plate. Wake up, up. This is not a game, I'll take my fresh breath and go my own way. This is what I left for. This is what I left for. This is what I left for. This is what I left for.
Measure my growth by the season. Limits don't exist if you don't give them reason. But everybody wants to know how I built this dream and never had a doubt.
Walk like I built this town. Steps so big, I shook the fucking crowd. Everybody's coming at me now. I'm never coming down. This is what I left for. This is what I left for. This is what I left for. This is what I left for.
So yesterday, I completely screwed up my entire workout. I thought that my first exercise said paused bench press, and in actuality, when I got to the gym after deliberately leaving my knee sleeves and my belt at home, I realized that it said paused back squats, not bench press. So I kind of threw off my training block yesterday because of that, because I wasn't going home to get my gear, and I was in kind of a grumpy mood anyways and didn't even really want to be there. So instead, I finished out my workout yesterday and decided this morning to get my volume in for my squats, which was supposed to be 6 singles, which is what I just completed. And I have to say that I'm quite happy that I decided to wait until the next day, because my mindset today is just that much better, and because of that, I was able to successfully hit my numbers. So the first 3 singles I hit at 145 pounds, and those were feeling super smooth, so I jumped up to 90% on my 1 rep max, which was 155 pounds. So 3 singles at 155, and those went awesome. And I figured, like, normally I don't go in the morning. I only had 1 meal today, and I was still able to push that amount of weight, but I was doing a bikini posing session with a client at the gym, so I decided I might as well stick around, do my squats, because I will be going back to the gym later this evening to do today's workout, which, guess what? I will be doing squats again. So I could have combined those 6 singles into my workout tonight, but I'm actually going out for a friend's dinner tonight, and I didn't want to be at the gym longer than my typical 2-hour session because that took me 1 hour to do just 6 singles. So it was a good call. What is going on, you guys? I want to take some time today to talk about something that I think is really real, especially for women, and that is intimidation in the weight room. I think that a lot of people go through this on a regular basis, and not many people know how to handle this problem, and it is holding them back from achieving their goals. So I have a couple of tips that I want to give you today, but firstly, I just want to let you know that you're not alone. A lot of people, women and men included, feel this way. I used to feel this way. I remember that I would go to the gym when Kyle did when we were in university, and all I would do was stay on the treadmill, and then I get bored of that and run the track, and then I move on to the Stairmaster, stationary bike, the elliptical, literally every single piece of equipment for cardio that you can think of. And he would be at the gym for 2 hours typically, so think of how much cardio that really is. So it honestly was kind of detrimental to me, and I realized that I was getting really skinny and I didn't like how I looked. And so I knew that entering the weight room was a must in order to develop some feminine curves and to put on just some healthy, lean body mass. So I asked Kyle to help me in the gym and show me around the weight room a little bit. And it was the scariest thing ever. I was afraid that people were gonna laugh at me, that all eyes were gonna be on me because I'm a girl, I am not as experienced as other people, and that basically because I'm not an advanced lifter that I don't belong in there. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. Anybody and everybody has a right to be in the weight room, whether you are a beginner, whether you are a female, and you deserve to be in the weight room just like anybody else. So over time, I forced myself to be in the weight room, and I want to give you some tips and tricks that kind of helped me get past that fear, because now, fast forward, I think 6 or 7 years later, I cannot wait to get into the weight room. It's my favorite place in the world. I have such a good time, and it's just, I feel like I belong, and it's a nice feeling to go in there feeling completely confident. You can tune everybody out and just do your thing. So number one, I think that this is the most important thing, is to not enter the weight room unless you have a plan. I know so many people will say that, well, I don't know how to use the equipment, I don't know where things are, and that can definitely shake up your nerves even more so. Like, it's gonna supercharge them, right? So firstly, when you join a gym, I would highly recommend you get somebody who works there to show you around. They can show you where all of the machines are for different muscle groups, where the dumbbells and the weights are, the squat rack, that's most important to me. Where the hell is that squat rack? And for them to show you generally where everything is in the gym. It's gonna take out the uncertainty that you don't know what you're doing a little bit more, because you're gonna know where to go based on the plan that you have. So that leads into the second part, where you go into the gym with a plan. So many people, even now, go to the gym saying, what are you working today? And they'll be like, I don't know, I have no idea, and maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that, which is fine if they're comfortable with that. But most people, if they're wandering around aimlessly, they're gonna feel like people are staring at them. So there's a couple of ways that you can go into the gym where you have a plan, especially for people who are just starting out. There is a bunch of free plans online. My biggest recommendation is to go to bodybuilding.com. That's where I started. I did Jamie Eason's 12-week training program, and I just followed it to a T, and I had a plan every single time I went into the gym. Now, I know that you are probably asking, well, what if I don't know what to do for that prescribed exercise? Honestly, YouTube the exercises before you go into the gym. YouTube is actually probably gonna be your best tool if you're just starting out, because what the hell is a skull crusher? An easy bar curl? What the hell is an easy bar? A goblet squat? Seriously? If you YouTube all those things, they will pop up. If you guys go look at my playlists on my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of exercise demos because I give them to my clients clients when I do their training programs, but there's a ton of exercises in there and they're broken up based on the muscle group that you are working. So the resources are out there. You just got to take the time to put in the research before you enter the weight room. So that's step number one. Get somebody to show you around so you know where everything is and to have a plan. So once you have a plan and you know what your exercises are and what you are doing in the gym, the next step is to actually enter the weight room. I highly recommend either having an iPod or having somebody who's also afraid to enter the weight room to go with you. I was lucky that I had Kyle to show me around, and even though we did our own things, I was able to go and ask him for help when I wasn't sure how to do something or if I felt uncomfortable doing something. So having a gym partner is very helpful. But if you don't have the luxury of having a gym partner, the biggest thing to realize, because I know people are afraid that people are going to stare at them and think that they don't know what they're doing. Most advanced lifters in the gym really aren't concerned with what other people are doing. They're more concerned with their own workouts. So they're typically like, even me for instance, sometimes I don't even see people in the gym because I'm just in the zone. I'm focused on what I'm doing because I have my plan in place, and that's most important to me, is what I'm doing and to make sure that I'm executing according to plan. So most people, they're really not judging or caring what you are doing, even though it may seem like it. So just having that perspective in mind will also help calm your nerves just a little bit. And I know that some people's fear doesn't actually come from the men in the weight room. Some women are intimidated by the advanced lifting women in the weight room. And the thing with that is most women actually, if you try to like force yourself to talk to them, are actually really nice. Like I actually do sometimes have people come up to me asking me how to do something, and I love it. I'm so willing to help, and most women are like that as well. I've never had an incident where I went up to another girl in the gym and they were actually rude to me. Most people, like 99% of them, are willing to help you. So again, it's all about perspective. So another tip to consider is not to be afraid to communicate to others. I still experience this where some people will try to pressure you off of the equipment that you are using. Like this still happens where at the gym I go to, there's 4 squat racks and all of them are being used. I'm on one of them and the rest of them being used are by guys. And the people who are waiting for the squat racks, the first person that they come up to ask if you're done yet is me. It's always the girl. Well, the guys, I'm not gonna bother, but maybe this girl, she's just standing there. She has to be done soon. So I'm not afraid to be like, nope, actually, I still got quite a bit of time left. I'm probably gonna be here for another 30 minutes, but it looks like that guy's finishing up right there. Maybe you should go bug him. So it's just about standing your ground and not being afraid to let people know what you are doing and that your workout is important too, because anybody's workout is as important as the next person. So don't be afraid to stand your ground and don't let people push you around just because you are maybe a female or you're just a beginner. Your workout's just as important as the advanced people's workouts. And then just my last tip is just to be consistent with it. If you aren't regularly going to the gym and trying your best to get over this fear, it's not gonna happen. The best way to get over a fear is to face it. So if you're doing that, if you're facing your fear on a regular basis, over time, I promise you, entering that weight room is gonna become less and less scary every single time. So be consistent and be patient. I know that is so cliche. I don't care. It's the secret to probably everything, is consistency and patience. So make sure that you guys are doing just that, and I promise you the fear of the weight room will go away. It will. So I just wanted to finish up this little chat by just giving you some takeaway points from this. Just remember that the people in the gym who you are intimidated by, that they started where you are starting right now. An expert is never born an expert. They always started somewhere. So these people who intimidate you and you may feel uncomfortable in front of, just remember that they were there too once upon a time. And the fact that they're still there was their ability to be consistent, and they've gotten over that fear, just like I know you will. So don't ever forget that. And also remember that the best way to grow as a person is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations willingly. So if you have the ability to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in the weight room, just imagine how much better your life is gonna be just from that, because you're gonna grow as a person. So just put yourself in that situation and it'll pay in dividends, I promise. And to finish off this little chat, I want to tell you a story of one of my one-on-one sessions. I was doing a personal training session with a girl who was absolutely terrified to enter the gym. I went to the gym with her every single day and I couldn't get her to go without me. And I remember one day there was an overweight gentleman in the gym, and he was so comfortable. He was doing his thing, working his ass off in the gym, and my client stops and looks at him, is like, wow, look at that guy. He's doing amazing. I can't believe how awesome he is just for being in the gym. And I looked at her, I'm like, girl, everyone else is thinking the exact same thing about you. So start every single session off with a positive thought. Not everybody's out to get you. We are all in the gym with a specific goal in mind. Everybody is rooting for you. And even if that's not true, there's 1% out there who wants you to fall flat on your face. Majority rules. We're all in this together.